Darling, do you remember the man you married? Touch me, remind me who I am. Stanley Kunitz. We are not ourselves when nature, being oppressed, commands the mind to suffer with the body. King Lear.
Simon & Schuster Audio presents We Are Not Ourselves, a novel by Matthew Thomas. Read by Mare Winningham.
His father was watching the line in the water. The boy caught a frog and stuck a hook in its stomach to see what it would look like going through. Slick guts clung to the hook, and a queasy guilt grabbed him. He tried to sound innocent when he asked if he could fish with frogs. His father glanced over, flared his nostrils, and shook the teeming coffee can at him. Worms spilled out and wriggled away. He told him he'd done an evil thing, and that his youth was no excuse for his cruelty. He made him remove the hook and hold the twitching creature until it died. Then he passed him the bait knife and had him dig a little grave. He spoke with a terrifying lack of familiarity, as if they were simply two people on earth now, and an invisible tether between them had been severed. When he was done burying the frog, the boy took his time patting down the dirt to avoid looking up. His father told him to think a while about what he'd done and walked off. The boy crouched, listening to the receding footsteps as tears came on, and the loamy smell of rotting leaves invaded his nose. He stood and looked at the river. Dusk stole quickly through the valley. After a while, he understood he'd been there longer than his father had intended, but he couldn't bring himself to head to the car, because he feared that when he got there he'd see that his father no longer recognized him as his own. He couldn't imagine anything worse than that, so he tossed rocks into the river and waited for his father to come get him. When one of his throws gave none of the splashing sound he'd gotten used to hearing, and a loud croak rose up suddenly behind him, he ran, spooked, to find his father leaning against the hood with a foot up on the fender, looking as if he would have waited all night for him, now adjusting his cap and opening the door to drive them home. He wasn't lost to him yet. Part 1. Days Under Sun and Rain. 1951, 19...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?